Jay Lee have been found nearly 3 years since the University of Mississippi's graduate student went missing from his apartment back in 2022. The Oxford Police Department confirms the remains were found over the weekend by hunters in Carroll County were indeed a match for Lee.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment, IG, TikTok, bottom reveal, and we just gonna hop into it. So today I will be discussing. This is kind of a little bit of an older case with a new twist to it, also as well. So I will be discussing about the death of Jay Lee, a former Ole Miss student, who was allegedly killed by Sheldon Timothy Harrington, who goes by Timothy or Tim. So yeah. So remember those two names, Jay Lee and Tim. So Jay Lee was an alumni of Ole Miss. She was very involved in the LGBTQ plus community, also participating in drag races as well. So obviously, like I said, he's being accused. So what ended up happening, very much appears that Tim and Jay were in a romantic relationship, and that Tim was not openly gay and comes from tends to be a religious background, and I don't know if Jay was attempting to out him or he was just angry at the fact that their relationship was no more, but he obviously, was mad enough to kill the man. So basically we're just gonna get into the details of the case. So Lee actually had Harrington blocked on Snapchat, so Harrington contacts Lee through another Snapchat that Lee didn't even realize it was Harrington at the time till he discussed it. So at first, obviously, it's not Tim's identity because she ain't know. So the only reason the police end up knowing that this was Tim that Jay was communicating to is because one of the texts when they was arguing, he says, "Have a good night, Tim." So I say all this to say, Block contacted him on another thing. This day he contacts him about, basically he was just trying to basically trying to get closure, talking about I don't want it to end like this and all that. And Jay actually says it's like you come over there to beat my ass. So it seems like not Sheldon, I forgot his first name, but Tim has a history of putting his hands on Jay, and what those reasons be for, I don't know. If that's Jay talking to other men, or again him just not being comfortable with himself because he's gay. He hasn't been able to show it to the world. So I don't know what that's about, but it seems like Tim does have at least a violent history. So during this communication, he convinces Lee to come over to the apartment. Lee agrees. While Lee is on the way to his apartment, Harrington actually Googled how long does it take to strangle somebody, and he actually tweets a case where a woman who actually had been strangled on a cross country trip with her husband. So that's very apparent that he at least had the idea of killing somebody. So it's video recording of Lee arriving at Harrington's apartment, and then a couple minutes later, after Lee arrives, Harrington is seen running away from the apartment complex, where he goes to a nearby gas station and hops in a white car. That person later identified Harrington, so obviously with that, I assume the police it's very obvious in the in the film, but the police, take the license plate, they contact that person, and that person was like, I didn't know he did all that, and gave it up. So obviously that's what happened with that. So, and that's pretty much, and then how, end up with end up finding, because Lee at this point, he's just missing. They hadn't found a body yet or anything to confirm that he was actually dead. So the reason they even had any concerns that he was missing is because his mama's birthday was around the time that he went missing or allegedly was killed. And she just talked about how he usually called her and sung her happy birthday, and how it wasn't very, and she went and checked on him, and the dog was still, he was like, she took the dog everywhere, and his car was missing. So she knew something was wrong, and that's when she called for the wellness check, and then that's when they ended up figuring out he was missing. So all that to say that Tim was actually put on trial for this. Tim ends up going to trial. The whole argument that his lawyer is presenting, obviously besides all the evidence I just gave you, the lawyer that is presenting is there's no body, so there's no way to say that he killed somebody, which is it's a great evidence. It's a good case, but shit gets sticky. So eventually, with all this, the juror the juror was for not was damn, what's the word? They was talking for 9 hours. I don't know what the legal word is for it. Or they was talking for 9 hours. The judge eventually rules a mistrial. The reason why this mistrial was declared in December 24, the reason why this is a headline today though is because within the last 2 weeks in February, Jay's body has been found in Mississippi. So there goes the whole case right there. Your whole case was there's no body, so you can't say that somebody got murdered with no body. They have found a body and they have confirmed it was Jay because of a necklace and probably dental records as well. And now we're waiting to see where this case goes from here. So that's pretty much everything with the case. Obviously, I mean, to me, I mean, this was the case they were drawing in court, but to me, it's pretty obvious what his motive is and why he did this. Basically, it just looks like I said earlier in the video. It appears as, and his dad actually, I forgot to say this part. His dad, Tim's dad, actually got up in court and they asked him, "Did you know your son was gay?" And he said no, and this was his first time of hearing of it. So I just think it's very obvious that he was obviously gay. And I don't know if Jay was attempting to out him. It really don't even look like, from their messages, it doesn't look like Jay was attempting to out him. It was just looking like Jay was through with him. I don't know. Well, we don't know what they said to each other once he came over to the apartment or how it conspired. But it seems with him saying you just come over there to beating me, that does have a past of just being angry and obviously flashing out like that. So I don't know. And with their mess, like I said, it didn't look like he was gonna out him. So I guess he was just angry at him for, I don't know what specific, just not loving him or him tripping. I don't know. He was just a crazy ass nigga. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that he did it. And now that they found the body, it's over with. So like, share, subscribe, comment, IG, TikTok, bottom video, and we out.